sure the preparation has been nearly nonstop, but he's kind enough to take a few minutes with us right now. Coach DeBoer, thanks for taking a few minutes.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
What has this week been like for you?
Well, it's a short week. We played on Saturday, and of course, that being the Apple Cup and a rivalry game was a big one for us, and got a couple minutes to enjoy that. And we're back at it with a Friday Pac-12 Championship game. So the guys are doing great, and we're ready to take the field again for another practice here today.
How does that work? You play Saturday early in the afternoon. Do you at least get to have dinner and enjoy? Do you take that night with family and friends? Yeah. Or is Saturday night right back to work because Oregon played the day before and it was not going to be a short week for them?
Well, there's certainly some people on the staff when it comes to, getting scouting reports and things like that back together that got to continue to just keep working that night with preparation for this week. And there's some, post-game evaluation stuff that the coaching staff does as well as myself. So there's little pieces that everyone does, kind of wraps up Saturday night, Sunday morning, and, then you're on to getting ready for Oregon.
I know that's probably where your mindset is at, but would you mind a couple of minutes of just going back to what we saw over the weekend and specifically the decision to go for it on fourth down? It's such a memorable moment, and I was flabbergasted watching it. Can you take me inside that decision? What are your options in that moment?
Well, I think we had 2 timeouts, and I think it's a lot easier decision where you give yourself a couple chances if you do have 3 timeouts, because even if you don't get the first down, you can stop the clock a few more times and maybe have 30 to 45 seconds, even if they kick a field goal. The issue becomes when you only have 2 timeouts, and then we used one at that time too. It gave me a little more time to just kind of think about, make sure we were making a good decision, but now they can run the clock down and kick a field goal to win it when pretty much have little to no time left on the clock, depending on what they decide to do. So I felt good. I asked Coach Grubb for the play call that he thought was best, and I did like that. I did like the call and knew it was something they hadn't seen. I knew it fit and countered what we had shown a lot throughout the course of the game, similar formational things and stuff like that. So took a crack at trying to see if we can get them drawn off sides. And then what that also allowed us to do is get most of our offensive skill on the sideline and talk to them a little bit about the play call on fourth down. And also for me to just kind of think through one more quick time, what was kind of all at stake and what was the best choice to do. And so guys went out and did a great job of executing. Proud of them. Michael, has some different things he can do on that play, and he did a great job being in the moment, not trying to do too much, and allowing us to get the first down, roam, with a big play coming around the edge.
If you don't have a quarterback with as much experience and as much of your trust as you do, can you not make that call?
I think you still can. But there was certainly just a quick little reminder, don't try to do too much. And Michael knows what that means. And just little stuff. That maybe wasn't how I said it, but just, execute the play like we tell him all the time. And he went and did that.
He is Kalen DeBoer. We have some fun on this show. I was chuckling, Kalen, just a little bit, and Salk was smiling too as you were walking through it. Because for 14 years, we've talked to the other head coach in town. And oftentimes, Salk and I believe that Coach Carroll never thinks about the downside. He never thinks about what could possibly go wrong in some of these decisions. And I'm just kind of curious as you do make that call. And do you just have to avoid any of that negative thought or any of the ramifications or any of the consequences?
Because the ramifications are huge. I mean, if you don't get it, it's a very good possibility you've tanked the season on one play.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is, but it's also a yard, and there's plenty of time with them. If you punt it, they're 40 yards away from probably being in field goal range or somewhere around there too. And so, you're giving them the chance to go win it, it's probably the location of where the ball was at, right, in your own 29 or wherever it was. They're almost in field goal range already. So yeah, there's a huge risk, but you just feel that don't get caught up in the moment, but also understand who you have. And with our guys, our skill players, our offensive line, I just got a lot of trust in those guys, along with Michael, and letting them get a chance to execute a play that they worked on a lot in practice over the last couple of weeks. And this was the right time to do it. We had a lot of space for Rome to run to, and let a guy, go fight for a yard. And we got a clean edge, and they executed. But yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but you got to weigh that in there for sure.
Coach Grubb said yesterday in his presser that Michael was a little under the weather at the end of the game there. I'm curious if that was a sickness thing or just the moment of all of the emotion and the end of this regular season journey and how that game was just unfolding and the last few plays of it and everything else. Was he sick in any way, or was it just kind of all of everything caught up to him?
Oh, I think everyone's got a little something at this time of the year, but nothing that is affecting him or anything. So I think a lot of it just is, man. He wants this perfect record. He wants this conference championship coming up. He came back for a reason, and all that's kind of culminating to this point. And I think it's awesome. If you're not emotional, what does it really mean to you? And so it means a lot to him. It doesn't mean that the weight is too much for him because he's handled it all year with so much grace. I feel like, it's one of those things where, you just, he even said it, saying a few prayers for Grady before he kicked it. That's just who Mike is. And I believe that that's what he was doing. And kind of all when the game's over and kicks made, and it kind of all hits you, I mean, he, was a little emotional even after the Oregon win a little bit, seeing the crowd run on the field and the excitement. So, those things are important to him, that he can, help lead us to places that are a lot of fun to be a part of, both as a team and as a fan base.
This is great. Coach Kalen DeBoer spending a few minutes with us here on Brock and Salk. As we start to look forward, how much does game control matter? We hear a lot about game control in college football. How important is it?
Game in which way? Game control?
Well, yeah, it's a new term for me. Brock taught me this term because that's what I keep hearing. Oregon's got a lot of game control.
Well, let's be clear. I didn't teach you. The committee every Tuesday night loves all of their algorithms and analytics and data and stats. And wow, look at Oregon, with all their point differential, yardage differential, just blowing the doors off of everybody. In control, it is one of their metrics that they do look at and use. All of the game control that the Ducks have had really since October 14th. Does that matter?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I think some of the real big things are turnover margin, right? And the one game we turned it over a lot was the Arizona State game, and we turned it over in the end zone, red zone a couple times. Some balls that could have given us a pretty good jump on things early in the game. All of a sudden, they're tipped and picked, close to the goal line. So. This last few games, we've done a good job, winning the turnover battle, and the interceptions and recoveries that we've had. We've done a really good job. 3 of them against Oregon State that were a big deal, and our defense kind of getting back in that mindset again, where it isn't just getting one and it's a big play, because they were doing that too against a Utah and Arizona State, some of those games where they're running them back for touchdowns, but also just, now we're accumulating them in chunks, getting 3 of them and a couple more this last weekend. So big moments, guys are rising, and then us taking care of the football, and we did have a turnover through an interception, but we're doing a pretty good job taking care of the football.
It's pretty fun for me, Kalen, to see Bo Nix and Oregon Friday night and see Penix and Washington and the whole ensemble on Saturday of both teams. You put the tape in. You've studied them all week. You played them October 14th. How much different is this Ducks team, maybe their quarterback and everybody else, than the one you faced on that glorious afternoon in Seattle?
Yeah, I think just like, the season, as you go through the season, you continue to prove. And obviously, they had their backs to the wall after that game as far as what they wanted their goals to be. And so, that provides another level of urgency and focus. And you can see that happening just through their play on the football field each and every Saturday. So, Coach Lanning's done an awesome job, just keeping them heading the right direction since then, and just a really solid all around team for sure. I mean, they're causing people nightmares, and we know we'll have our hands full, just like it was the first time we played. So, he's done a great job from a motivating piece to just both sides of the ball executing. They can play physical. They can throw it up over the top. Got a lot of big threats. They tackle well on defense. They're forcing turnovers. So just a really well-rounded football team. Obviously, they're in the top 5 in the country for a reason.
How much is at stake on Friday night?
Well, yeah, I mean, this is, conference championship. This is what we had a lot of guys who could have gone on to next part of their career and chose to do it and stay here. And for the program, I mean, it's what we expect. It's why you do come back. It's why you do come here, is to be in moments like this. And so you embrace the challenge. That's the way we look at it, not like what's at stake, because it sounds like, whoa, like you should be nervous or something, like we're embracing the opportunity, embracing the great challenge that playing a conference championship provides, that playing Oregon, another great team, provides. And, this is why you came here. This is what you came to do. And we understand the ramifications about winning and continue to move on and reaching more of our goals, but we can't worry about those down the road. All we can do is worry about today's practice and making it great and having fun and bringing energy. We'll continue to improve our execution, and we do it again tomorrow. And then Friday will sooner or later come, and we'll be prepared to go out there, play with confidence, and get a dub.
You got to run out to practice. Last question for me here, Kalen. Have you ever utilized the point spread as a motivator?
Yeah, I did a couple weeks ago. So against Oregon State. So yeah, we did. And you can do that when you have a team that has enough belief in themselves, where you can kind of play the us versus the world type thing, or, the just underestimated, undervalued type of way. But, that was, our team is definitely not an arrogant team, but we're confident, play with a swagger. And it's because we got guys that have been through a lot of experiences together. We communicate the good, bad, and the ugly after games, before games. Just we can be real with each other. And so these guys don't feel it as a threat when you sit there and say, hey, you're the underdogs going to the game. They understand they got to play a good football game, but both teams do, because it's two really good football teams playing. And every team that is playing in a conference championship and wanting to move on to the next round when it comes to the college football playoff, they're all going to be good. So you got to be at your best, and this is when it matters the most.
Wow, going to be pretty fun. Going to be great to watch on Friday night. I got to tell you, I can't believe you did it. I can't believe you did it on 4th and 1, and it worked out as well as it did. That was one of those moments. I don't know if you watched the TV copy afterwards. Brock sounded like Tony Romo during the game. I don't know if you knew that.
Stop.
He did. He started channeling Romo right in the middle of the game.
That was on the roughing the passer. I maybe was just trying to give the white hat a little benefit of the doubt. So it was an amazing game. It was an amazing scene. Kalen, we always appreciate you jumping aboard, especially on a short week and everything else. Go have a blast. We'll look forward to watching
Good luck.
it.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, there you go. There is Coach Kalen DeBoer from the Washington Huskies. Huge game.